Blind Momentum is a surrealist painting from 1960 by Irving Norman. Irving Norman is a Lithuanian-American surrealist who lived during a time when America was going through political and social unrest during the Great Depression. He moved to California from New York in 1934, where he began to draw and paint inspired by his experiences. In the 1940s, Norman began focusing his artwork on the rush hour traffic in the United States. Blind Momentum depicts thousands of vehicles involved in highway gridlock, depicting the present-day conditions on Los Angeles' stacked downtown freeways during rush hour. He titled his painting Blind Momentum to signify that though each of us can affect the course of history in a small measure, we are all ultimately swept along by forces beyond our control. The Ninica is an oil painting from 1951 by Lee Mulliken. It was named after a wild area of Oklahoma where Mulliken grew up, inhabited by the Choctaw people. Lee Mulliken was a member of the Dynaton group in San Francisco. The Dynaton group was named from the Greek word dyne, which means that which is possible. Out of the Dynaton came the idea that the practice of making art was an exploration of deep levels of being that could open up higher levels of consciousness for all humankind. The Ninica is characterized by Mulliken's use of a printer's knife to make sharp lines of paint on the canvas, building up the surface with thin ribbons of yellow, orange, and pink that radiate out from a prominently placed sun-like orb. Below lies a quieter orb within a pale teal triangle, perhaps denoting an earthbound locus of cosmic energy. The claw, fashioned from the branch of a redwood tree, is wrapped in copper sheet metal, encrusted with hundreds of nails, and obsessively embellished with jewelry, marbles, and other simple found objects. This is one of a series of nail sculptures that Seymour Laux began in 1948 and exhibited widely, the first time at the San Francisco Museum of Art's annual exhibition in 1950. As one of the earliest to create such a unique sculpture, Laux played the role of godfather and groundbreaker to San Francisco artists. The claw shows the influence of Bay Area abstract expressionism in its use of raw, unfinished materials and primitivism. Laux saw the nail sculptures as having a power of their own, and, in this, he identified with the role of the shaman. Joyce Trayman's Uphill incorporates the signature elements that make her work provocative, lushly exciting to the eye, and enduring. It depicts a self-portrait, a chap-clad Trayman atop a horse, with a color palette and heroic composition reminiscent of Frederick Remington's self-portrait on a horse. It also echoes Remington's subject matter, emanating a Californian sense of light and space, with its rich combination of cobalt blues and cadmium yellows. The title Uphill alludes to Trayman's personal challenges, which were many: being a figurative painter in the heyday of abstract expressionism, enduring second-class status as a West Coast artist in an era driven by East Coast dogma, succeeding as a female in a male-dominated area, and surviving lung cancer. Before Utah is a completely computer-generated work of art, created by Harold Cohen. It consists of a video screen, upon which plays a series of amorphous shapes and lines that are constantly shifting and changing, making literal the movement implied by action painting. The evolving image, constantly making and remaking itself, is a picture of randomness made visible through outline, shape, and color, with lines differing in thickness and length, frequently forming abstract shapes filled in with digital tints. This work is the result of a computer program invented by Cohen, Aaron, the first one ever developed for the sole purpose of generating paintlery imagery. Far from rejecting the principles of abstraction, Cohen's intention was to program those very qualities into the algorithm in order to mirror abstraction's cognitive processes.
You're in good health, but someday when you're gone, this computer can keep creating original drawings.
Yeah, I've always said that I'll be the first artist in history who could have a posthumous exhibition of new work.
Triple diffraction hex is one of the earliest examples of a sculptural object that combines strobe lights and electronics with words. The letters, funkily constructed in a strangely prescient way that resembles digital signage, intermittently spell out no, ow, now, a kind of koan that the artist Garrett Stern frequently uses in his work. The red, white, and blue colors with the flashing strobe, spinning diffraction discs, and words combine to offer a moment of both sensory overload and contemplation. Triple diffraction hex was created by Garrett Stern and Michael Callahan as members of USCO, a collective of artists, poets, filmmakers, and engineers who worked together to create visionary projects.